Every runner has their own starting point on the road to 26.2, and today we're finding yours. Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm a running coach who works with midlife runners who dream of completing a marathon. Last week, on the very first video for this channel, we talked about the fact that none of us are too old to complete a marathon. And over the last week, many of you have shared your stories in the comments section of that video. Stories of overcoming adversity as you worked hard to achieve your personal running goals. As I read your stories, one thing became very clear. We are all on the road to 26.2. We're just in very different places. For some of us, the marathon is a couple years away, but we're looking forward to the process of getting there. For others, the marathon's just a couple months away, and we're well on our way to finishing a training program to get us ready to run that race. For others, the marathon is in our rearview mirror. We've already completed that first one, and we're now lapping back around, looking forward to running the second one and having a better experience this time. Just this week, I met with a new client whose first marathon is 9 weeks away. She's been training for it for several months on her own, piecing together the best training plan she could, but she told me that recently she found herself feeling very underprepared. So she reached out to me to talk about how we could work together in a coaching relationship to build a training plan that will help her reach the starting line with confidence and cross the finish line injury-free. And so we're doing just that. And by the way, if you ever find yourself looking for a coach to work with, please check out midlifemarathoner.com for details about how you and I might work together. This week, I want to talk to you about 3 reference points that you can evaluate in your own life and use that information to determine where you really are on your road to 26.2. Those reference points are going to be your map, your fuel, and your calendar. So let's start with your map. We all know what that is, right? In the old days on a trip, we'd reach into the glove compartment, we'd pull out this big piece of paper, we'd unfold it. I won't say anymore because I'm dating myself. Nowadays, we just pull out our phone and look at the Maps app, or we punch it into our GPS on our car dashboard, and we need 2 pieces of information. We need to know the destination, and we need to know our current location. And then the map tells us exactly how far we are from that destination and the best path to take to get from point A to point B. Now, on the road to 26.2, the destination never changes. It is the ability to run 26.2 miles in a single event. That's all it's ever been. That's all it's ever going to be. The destination doesn't change. The variable is your starting point. Let's talk about this in really practical terms. An average adult can handle the idea of completing a training plan that lasts anywhere from 16 to 20 weeks. Let's split the difference. Let's talk about an 18-week training plan. In order to confidently and safely start an 18-week training plan, you should be able to do 2 things. The first is run an average of 15 miles per week. And the second is to run a single long run of approximately 6 miles. 15 weekly total miles that include a single 6-mile long run is a perfect baseline to say I am in a great starting place now to know that over the next 18 weeks, I can safely and gradually increase my mileage so that by the end of my training plan, I will be ready to step to the starting line and run 26.2 miles to the finish line. Your second reference point is your fuel. This refers to your internal resources that you need to carry you along the path that you're traveling to get to your destination. You can know how far away you are from your destination, but if you don't have the internal resources to carry you along that journey, you're going to really struggle to reach your goal. So we're talking about things like determination, confidence, faith, belief, courage. These are all internal resources necessary to overcome the very daunting task of training for a marathon. It takes courage to step out into the unknown and try to do something very hard that you've never done before. It takes commitment to begin a training plan that you look at on paper and you can tell is going to be very challenging and is going to bring along some tough days. It takes faith to believe that even if you don't have everything necessary to complete the task right now, that each step along the way, you will become more and more equipped to run a little further each day. It also takes faith to believe that on some days you need to stop and rest because the recovery period is when your body gets stronger and healthier and is prepared to help you to do more and to run further. All of these internal resources create an ultimate confidence level that gives you the ability to say, I am going to train to complete a race that I believe I can finish. Your third reference point is your calendar. The reality is training for a marathon is very time consuming. And so you need to sit down and evaluate what your life looks like on the calendar. Can you find time throughout the week working around your busy schedule to get your runs in? Can you find chunks of maybe 2 to 3 hours at a time on a Saturday or a Sunday to get a long run in? Those are very high demands, but they're necessary to complete a training plan. And if you look at your calendar and you can figure out how to find the time over the next several months to train, the next thing you got to do is check in with your loved ones, because you've got family and friends that are going to miss you at times while you're training for your marathon. There are going to be plans that you have to say no to because you got to go to bed early knowing you have to get up really early the next morning to run. There are going to be weekends when you're going to have to look at your family or your friends and say, I'm really sorry, I'm going to be out on the road for 2 or 3 hours tomorrow, so I won't be able to hang out with you. You want to make sure that your loved ones are ready to support you in your efforts as they miss you while you're training. If you take a realistic look at your map, at your fuel resources, and at your calendar, you'll get a pretty clear picture of where you really are at this moment on your road to 26.2. And what I want you to really understand is there is no wrong starting point. It doesn't matter how far you are. If you've got an internal desire, a dream of completing a marathon, you can do it. You're not too old. No obstacle is too great. You just have to figure out how far away you are from achieving the goal and be patient enough with yourself to take the time necessary to achieve that goal safely. Work on your internal confidence level. Gain confidence by achieving smaller goals, seeing what you're capable of doing. Talk to your friends and family about it and allow them to encourage you and allow them to build you up and to strengthen you. As I shared in last week's video, I'm currently training to run the London Marathon in April, and I'll be sharing stories from my training right here on this channel. It would be fantastic if you would begin to share your training stories in the comments section with your fellow viewers so that we can all begin to learn from each other. I believe that if we could share with each other things that are working for us as we train to achieve our goals, we literally will learn from one another. This isn't about me teaching you how to get ready for a marathon. This is about us coming together as a community to share our own journey, to learn from each other, to encourage each other along the way to a goal that I absolutely believe we can all achieve, to get each other along the road to 26.2. I want to close with this. Forward is a pace. When you know your destination and how far away you are from reaching it, as long as you keep moving forward a little bit each day, you can believe inside you will achieve your goals. You will reach that destination and become a marathoner. If you discovered the Midlife Marathoner channel this week, I encourage you now to check out this video right here. It's a little less than 6 minutes long, and it'll give you my running history and the history of where this Midlife Marathoner channel will come from. For all of you, thanks for joining me today and helping us build this community of runners that are all working together to become midlife marathoners. Have a great week.